Alright guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be taking a look at, obviously you can tell by the title, we're going to be taking a look at occlusion training. So what that is taking these bands here, like there's some elastic bands you can get off Amazon. I got mine for like 20 something bucks or whatever. But we're taking a look at like blood flow restricted training as far as arm day goes. I know we did arm day the other day, but considering that I'm really trying to grow them, I hit them twice a week, once a little bit harder than the other one. So I'm going to talk about this stuff later, as opposed to like why this works and why this training really helps. But just for some background information, basically what your heart does is it pumps blood to the muscles. And in order to get that pump that you feel, your heart is pumping more blood to the muscles than your muscles can pump back to the heart. So therefore that's why you end up getting that pump. The point of all this that I'm trying to get at is you want to prolong that pump. So this is why you use these bands to effectively prolong that pump without really damaging yourself or hurting yourself by any means. Now, a couple tips: I wouldn't tighten these like super hard. I would go for a 9 out of 10. They have like little markings on them. I think mine's at a, like, I don't know if you can see that. There's the, you get 6, 7, 8, 9. I think mine's like right here at 9.5, but that's just because my arms aren't super huge in a sense. We're doing about 4 or 5 exercises along with 2 kind of warm-up exercises just to get the blood flowing throughout the muscles here really quickly. So we'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll talk about why it works afterwards and what you can expect from doing BFR or occlusion band training. So. Alrighty, starting off this workout here, we're going to be starting with some seated bicep curls. I wasn't doing these alternating, I was doing them at the same time, trying to keep the motions slow and steady, especially on the way down, trying to get some blood flow right there into the biceps. Next up, we have an isolated tricep band pull. So what I was doing with these was I didn't have any sort of attachment on there. I strictly just had a hold of the ball and chain right there at the end of the cable, and was just making sure I was pulling across my body, pulling down, and really giving my tricep a good squeeze to get the blood pumping. For these, you want to be able to get them up and into your armpits. So, real quick, I don't know which way I like them on. I'm trying to think. That's probably the easiest way to pull them. Get them up and like tucked into your armpit, like this. And always keep the strap tight so you can pull it. It makes it a lot easier to tighten these things. So, there you go. That's pretty much all you do. And then you go on your other exercises. So, let's get to it. As you can see, I have attached the BFR bands here. So here we've got an incline bicep curl. I have my arms kind of out in sort of a W fashion. I didn't have my elbows tucked into the side of my body. I was having them kind of flared out and really focusing on keeping that shape and keeping a nice steady movement as I went along with this. Alright, so next up we have some incline skull crushers here. I like these ones better than like regular skull crushers for some reason. This bar that my gym has really helps too, because it's got like a straight edge for me to put my thumbs on and really help with focusing on and pushing straight through my triceps and not having any of my other muscles help me out here. Next up we have isolated crossbody curls. I was using a supinated grip here, which is another fancy name for an underhand grip. But I was doing them crossbody and really focusing on giving my bicep a really good squeeze right there at the top. Supersetting those crossbody bicep curls. I've got a tricep pull down here and really focusing on letting it go slow back to the top and pressing down and giving my triceps a really nice squeeze right there at the bottom, and then fighting it again all the way back to the top. Next up we have a close grip bench press. The reason that I like this exercise for triceps because if you keep your elbows kind of tucked in, you keep your grip close, and you really start to drive through your triceps, you can really feel it. So in this next exercise here, we're going to be focused on the brachialis muscle of the bicep. This is what happens when you use a neutral grip in your hammer curls, which obviously in a hammer curl you will be using a neutral grip, but in this movement you want to be sure you're not using the momentum to swing it. You really want to be focusing on pulling through those biceps and not using any momentum to get them up. Slow and controlled is key here. And going right in to attack the short head of the bicep here, we're going to be doing some preacher curls. This is where I started to struggle the most in this exercise, was simply because I was so gassed from the rest of it. Like, these were very, very difficult. If your gym has a preacher curl machine, then that's great, that's awesome. I would use that instead of using this sort of ineffective, like, makeshift preacher curl stand that I made out of an incline bench and just my elbow and a weight. And last but not least, one of the most unorthodox tricep exercises here. I've got an easy curl bar attached to a cable machine, and I'm doing it reverse grip. So I've got a supinated grip, and I'm really trying to pull down close to my waistline and get that sort of V shape in the easy curl bar right there to sit as close to my waist as possible. Alrighty, so we're back home, back from the gym, and I took a little nap because you know, these past couple of days I've been taking like little 45-minute naps, and you'd be surprised at how much my energy level changes. Like, I get home from the gym, I'm kind of tired, eat something a little bit, and then I'm like really tired, don't really want to sit down and do any sort of work. Take a little nap, you know, wake up, get started on some work that I wanted to do. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about is occlusion training, or blood flow restrictive training, using the blood flow restrictive straps here. Now, one of the things I want to note is if you're new to weightlifting, these may not benefit you as much as you think. Your anabolic ceiling, you'll be able to hit that really, really easily just by doing standard strength training, weightlifting, eating right, things like that. But the thing is, with these, you want to make sure you're using them properly. You don't want to end up hurting yourself. You really have to try pretty hard to get hurt while using these, but you also want to make sure you're doing it the right way and doing it safe. So like I was mentioning earlier in the video, if you're going to do them on your biceps and your triceps on your arms, you want to make sure that this is tucked up into your armpit here, you know, kind of up in here. It's not gonna, obviously it's not going to be like up here, but it's going to be here. You know, the buckle is going to be like in the outer side of your shoulder here, kind of like right below your shoulder. It's going to be tucked up into your armpit, where the band is going to be. If you're using it on your legs, it needs to be tucked up into your groin. A question you guys might be having is like, how do these bands work? So basically what happens is your body builds up byproducts in it, and it can't churn through them fast enough. It can't like push them out as quick as your body needs to. So all these byproducts are getting built up, and some of them actually act as anabolic signals. So basically what that means is it's telling your body like, hey, I need more muscle size, I need more strength, I need to push more to these muscles to be able to have them lift this weight that you're trying to ask me to show. What I showed you guys in this video were all like accessory exercises. You don't really want to use these for an entire exercise, but what I was showing you in this video is exercises that are really good to use with these, because it really it enhances the workout in a sense to where you really feel like you've worked it for the day. Like, by the end of that workout, I had such a pump going on that it was actually like insane. Now obviously I used these to make that video, so I did quite a few exercises with them, but what I was showing you guys were accessory exercises. You want to use these for like 2 or 3 exercises, kind of something like that, on top of the 2 like regular exercises that you might be doing to, you know, complete like a normal 5 exercise workout routine for the day. Like I said, I was using it on arm day. I haven't tried them on legs day. If you guys want to see a video on a leg day BFR training, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd definitely be down to do it. The way that you grow muscle and the way that you gain size on your arms and things like that, or in any muscle in particular, you try to push them to failure. You try to overload, damage, and fatigue your muscles in the sense that you're pushing them really, really close to failure, 1 or 2 shy, or getting them, you know, to the point where you really can't get it up. In one of the exercises I was doing, I believe it was the preacher curls, I was struggling hard trying to get the last one up. There was a point where I was lifting it and I had to bring my other hand into play. There was no one else around me, obviously, so I brought my other hand to play and like tap the weight to help me get it back up. You activate way more amounts of muscle tissue, and it influences how much muscle you're building and how much strength you're gaining. So normally you would go for like, you would be doing your normal weight. In this, I wasn't. I was actually doing a lighter weight because that's essentially what they're made for. It allows you to, you know, break through that anabolic window, signal your muscles to start doing growth, and give even more strength by using a little bit less weight. Basically what it's doing is tricking your muscles into thinking you're using a heavier weight than you really are used to. Your muscles aren't placed under this big, long, like this big heavy strain, but you're also able to gain muscle and size in this way. It's a much more effective way of gaining size in your arms and muscle in your arms, as opposed to lifting, like, you know, say you're doing hammer curls you're doing 45-pound hammer curls. With these, you can probably do like 35s or 30s, do the same amount of reps and feel way more of a pump and way more like actual like fatigue. And I'm going to use the term damage to your muscles because you guys know what I'm talking about. You know the feeling. You know the feeling when your arms feel like noodles. So all in all, this sort of training, this blood flow restrictive training, is a legitimate way. It is based on science in ways to gain muscle growth. So if you guys want to try it, you can go to Amazon, type in BFR occlusion training. The occlusion bands are going to look just like these. They'll be blue. I tried to look for black ones that were in the black color because I didn't want just blue. I kind of felt goofy. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys today. I thought it was kind of an interesting thing. I've had these in my bag forever. I've used them a couple times. Not a lot of people know about them. Now that I've used these for a couple times and have really understood how they work and really perfected how I want to use these, I can start sharing those tips with you guys and with other people in the gym if they ever have a question about it. So it's really nice to see that. I love learning more and more information. These things are really, really great. They're pretty cheap too, 25 bucks. I mean, for 3 tips that I would have for like what not to do with these: don't go super heavy. It's not meant to be heavy. It's supposed to be a form of resistance training where you are supposed to use lighter weight and get the same amount of pump out of it as if you weren't using these and were using a heavier weight. Basically take some of the strain off of your synergist muscles that you're using to try and help you lift that weight up. On top of that, don't tighten them too tight. The goal is to not completely cut off the circulation. It's to make it to where you have enough to restrict the flow of blood back to the heart. You don't want to tighten them too tight. You can kind of tell when you have them too tight. They'll start to hurt. You'll feel it a little bit. And so like what I did, there are notches on here. I think I have mine at, like, I wanted to say I had it at a 9 or an 8 or something, just because that's what felt comfortable for me. And then also, if you're new to it, I wouldn't suggest starting out. I would suggest doing some weight training, getting used to it, build your anabolic ceiling up a little bit higher than what it is when you're already starting to do the traditional lifting, and then be getting into the super heavy of strength training and stuff. But once you hit that goal, if you guys want a little extra push, go ahead and try these out. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up button, helps me a ton. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure you turn on post notifications so you know when a new video goes live. And as always, life be infinite. I'll talk to you guys later.